My diesel heater won't start below 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Turns out my fuel pump is sticking. So naturally, I ignored all the advice and made the most dangerous and janky diesel fuel pump heater on earth, totally out of spare parts. Anyway, when it got to making a pump heater, a lot of people suggested a silicone heating pad or heat tape. But I can actually heat it just enough by transferring heat from my hand if I hold my hand to the pump for a minute or two. But of course, I have to do that outside and it's cold. So I don't need a lot of heat. And this project is on the cheap. So let's see what I have for spare parts to make a pump heater without spending any money. And will it actually work to start my heater without having to go outside when it's 4 degrees out? Stay tuned while I show you what I came up with for a completely unsafe but functional proof of concept build, and finally a test of it on a super cold morning. And yes, I will eventually get some anti-gel and test that out too. But in the interim, we're going to over-engineer things. And make sure to check out my hot hands video where I discover that the pump is sticking. I'll put that in the show notes so that you can see it. Okay, back at the bench in the workshop with the warm heat inside. I happen to have a spare diesel heater fuel pump, so I'll be able to kind of engineer the stuff inside without having to constantly go back outside. Got a bunch of wires, a bunch of these half-watt resistors. Those could actually make some good heaters, but it's only a half-watt max per resistor. So I make a glob of resistors, some fuses to protect the whole thing, some Wago connectors, my thermal probes. I've got dual thermal probes with 8-foot cords. And then I've got these. These are 5-watt resistors that have a whole bunch of different values to them. And I'll have to do the math to figure out what I can do, but I'm thinking that 100 ohm might be able to create enough heat across 12 volts. I want to make this whole thing 12 volts and not try to run any AC or anything higher out to it if I can. Ultimately, it should be able to run on the power that's already outside at the heater. So one of my first steps is to take the thermal probes and see if I can attach them to the pump. And when I do start heating them, I'll heat it inside. And I just want to see if I can even if I'm heating one side of the pump, I want to see if I can raise the temperature of the other side of the pump effectively with whatever I'm using to heat it up. So I'm just sort of prepping this and getting the thermal probes ready. And note, these are type K probes, so they're not very accurate down at these lower temperatures. It's a little bit warmer than 37 degrees in my garage, but still chilly outside. So I picked my 5-watt 100 ohm resistor. I don't have anything lower than that in a large wattage resistor, so this is going to have to do. That's going to be about 1.4 watts or so calculated out, but we're going to put it across 12.1 volts here, and we're going to see what kind of temperature rise we can get. I'm going to attach my thermal probe directly to this resistor to see how much heat it produces when it's not connected to anything, just to see that it's going to get hot enough. Again, I think if I had my dithers, I'd probably want like a 50 ohm resistor or something so I could get a little more wattage out of it. I could put 2 of these together, but I have 2 fuel pumps and I have 2 resistors. So let's see if we can make do with this. So let's just start out by, okay, let's turn the voltage on, 12.1 volts, 116 milliamps. So let's get out our handy calculator, 0.116 times 12.1 is 1.392 watts. I'm not sure this is the perfect math, but it's close enough here that we know we're in the 1.4 watt zone of heat output. And you can see that the temperature on that resistor is steadily rising. So we're going from wherever we were to about 68, 69. I mean, we're still on the rise, so things haven't even stabilized here. So if I were to be dissipating this into the fuel pump, I definitely would be moving a little bit of heat over there. I just don't know when it's like 4 degrees outside and it's the whole mass of the fuel pump that's going to be too much heat sink for a little resistor like this. The other thing I got to say while we're waiting for this to heat up a little more is that 5 watts, or the resistor is rated at 5 watts and we're only putting 1.4 into it. So we're well within any safety margin there. And theoretically, I bet it's going to cap out and it won't even get to the point where, it's like 200 or 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, Feels warm to the touch. That's good enough for this test. So let's go ahead and connect it up to the fuel pump and see what happens. Let me add in here while I'm trying to figure out a way to mount this to the fuel pump. I think I'm going to use a rubber band here. So I'm kind of disconnecting the thermal probes I already put on the pump. But hey, it is a janky project. One thing to note here is that if you were to do this yourself and stick this in your heater, I'm going to use a power supply that's current limiting. But if you hook this up to a battery, you would absolutely need to put a fuse on it because you'd have unlimited current. And that unlimited current could short out on your fuel pump and cause a hellacious mess for you. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, I'm just gonna put this on with a rubber band on one side of the pump and see if I can get it to stay enough so that I can also add the 2 thermal probes, one on the bottom right next to the resistor and one on the top. And for now, I'll do a rubber band. I won't do that in the box outside because fuel lines are already attached. I'm not going to detach the fuel lines to attach this. So maybe I'll use zip ties or something. Okay, this is the test setup. I've got 3 probes, 3 temperature probes on the pump. I've got one at the top so I can see if heat is coming down. That's 52 degrees right now. And if I hit this dual probe here, I've got 53.4 at the bottom end of the pump. Now, these all have a little bit of differences, but it's connected to the bottom, so I can see if heat transfer is going from the resistor to the bottom of the pump and then to the top of the pump. And then I have a probe mounted on the fluke meter directly to the resistor so I can see that temperature rise. Okay, let's hook up the power and see if we can get this test on the road and get it going. So we'll just turn it on and let's let it cook for a few minutes and see what happens. Okay, so it's been running for about 5 minutes, 12 volts, 116 milliamps. The resistor is at 126 degrees Fahrenheit, 127, so it's moving up. And T1, which is the bottom metal part, is at 56, 57 degrees. So that temperature is rising, but it is pretty slow given that it's been 5 minutes. And then the top, which is actually T2 on my probes here, the right one there, is 56.3 degrees. So that's also rising too. So this is a smashing success. I have low current going out and I have a little bit of warmth. And if you remember, my hands were able to do this in the past. So that's pretty impressive. So we actually have a functional heater, even if it's a little lower powered than I would have liked. Okay, I'm going to use my benchtop power supply to power the test unit when it's deployed out to the heater. That's going to give me a lot of control. I'll be able to turn the voltage up and increase the wattage to the resistors if I need to. It'll also act as a safety so I don't need the fuse. So if I crank this thing up to, let's say, 27 volts, that's probably a little too much there. Let's do 20 volts at 200 milliamps. So 20 volts times 0.2, which is 200 milliamps. That's 4 watts. So yeah, look at that temperature rise now. We're up at 155 and climbing quickly. And of course, the temperature is at least 60 degrees, but once that settles out, it'll go even higher. So we've gone from 1.4 watts to 4 watts in a 5-watt resistor simply by increasing the voltage a little bit. So that's pretty cool to know if we need to determine how much wattage I need to make this thing function. But we're going to start with the 12 volts out of the pump because the goal is to be able to use the existing 12-volt power sources. Okay, so keeping this janky project janky, I took some old network cable, some old Cat5 cable, and I soldered it to a resistor, the 100 ohm 5-watt resistor there, and just double checked here, make sure everything's working right. And we will use that to run it out the window so I can keep the power supply inside the house. So let's go connect it up to the active fuel pump. Okay, so I've got 3 wires coming from the garage, 2 thermal probes, and 1 power connector in that Cat5. Now remember, that Cat5 is only going to have 200 milliamps or less, so it's more than enough to handle this load. I've got it connected at the bottom, the thermal probe and the resistor together, so I can measure that temperature. and then the other thermal probe at the top so I can see if the pump is actually getting warmer. I'll get that hooked in a moment in a little bit better way with a cable tie, but we're going to go ahead and get that hooked up, and I'll see you in a few moments as I wait for a super cold morning to test this out and see if it works. Okay, it is super cold out today. This is reading -5, but it's probably more like 2 or 3 degrees. So even this meter's having a hard time at the low temperatures. But let's go inside, fire this up, and see what our instruments say, and see if we get this thing running. Okay, at my thermal probe that's inside. Remember, I've got a T1 and a T2, bottom of the pump next to the resistor and top of the pump, to see if we're making any real progress. We see 4.6 degrees, 4.8 degrees on the T2. So pretty close to each other. So that's actually really good news that we're getting such a nice reading out of it. I'm going to fire this up. We're going to give it 13.3 volts at 129 milliamps. And these are just, they haven't been started, but they're just powered on. So we're just going to watch this for a few minutes and see if we can start to see a temperature rise. Oh, I already see a 5, but I think that's a little premature. So I'll come back to it in a few minutes and show you what I got going on here. Okay, so if I'm using these powered down units as timers, we're at about 2 minutes. And you can see that T1 is 12.9 degrees Fahrenheit. And T2 at the top of the pump is 10. So we are definitely adding heat into the equation. It is really cold out there this morning. Okay, so these have just kind of been sitting like this for about 15 minutes. 33 degrees at the top, bottom of the pump next to the resistor, 22 at the top. Still running it with about the same amount of current. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to turn it off. And then the next question is, will it start? So let's go ahead and hit the on button and see if this heater actually starts up. It's going through its glow plug cycle now, but we have to see whether or not the fuel pump will actually kick in. Okay, so we are about the mark where the pump should be active and kicked in. Let's go see if it's doing its job. Oh man, music to my ears. This is 100% success. Listen to that pump go. Now that pump in the past would not have started without some way of heating it up. So we are on our way. Remember it, completely janky project. I wouldn't recommend using a resistor to heat a diesel fuel pump under any circumstances, but I'm doing it under a lot of supervision, and I'll probably just add anti-gel to my fuel in the future. This is what you could do with spare parts in a pinch. The heaters are running and starting to heat up. Glow plugs are off. I can see 1 bar of heat on there, which is pretty darn cool. If you like this kind of content, be sure to come and check out my channel and see some of the other cool things I have going on. Diesel heaters are one of them, but it's not all diesel heat, just other miscellaneous projects. So thanks for watching and have a fantastic rest of your day.